So I'm off for a cheeky post-work ride up the Curtesy Aravis this evening. But this video serves two purposes. I'm also testing out these new JULBO sunglasses. So the company I work for in my day job, Mountain Drop-Offs, have got a partnership with JULBO, and they've very kindly given all our staff members a pair of, well, any JULBO sunglasses of their choice. So this is what I've chosen. So these are the Aero Speed with reactive 1 to 3 lenses in them. So these are part of the trail and ultra running range, but they're also perfectly suited to road biking, which is why I've chosen them. As the name would suggest, they're ultra light, and the lack of frames means they're really, really breathable. You get tons of airflow behind the lens, which should mean, in theory, they don't steam up very often. It also means you've got a massive field of view as well. So the reactive 1 to 3 lenses means that the lenses transition from category 1 to category 3 depending on the intensity of the light. So I don't know if you'll be able to see or not in this video as I go in and out of the shade, but they're constantly changing from a clear sunglass, which is probably what they are now, to a pretty well tinted or mirrored sunglass. Which again, it's perfect for road cycling, but it's also really, really good for driving, which is another reason why I chose them. I'll give a much more detailed review of all their stats and specifications in another video, but needless to say, they come in many different colour combinations with different types of lenses, so you can have reactive, or you can have polarised, or you can have just plain lenses as well. And while not every lens will be available with every colour, there's loads and loads of choice. So the Curtesy Aravis is a Tour and Dauphiné regular in both directions. I'm approaching it from the south, which is arguably the harder way, although it's technically shorter. So the climb officially starts in Flume, but no matter how you get there, you have to have done a pretty sizable climb first. So you can approach Flume from 4 directions. I've come from Le Fayet, which is where I live. I'm currently about to be riding through Megève. But you can also come from Albertville or over the Col de Saisy as well. And the Tour's done it in all directions. So here we are in Flume, one of the great crossroads of this part of the Alps. So down in that direction you've got Eugene, Albertville, Annecy, Grenoble, etc. Up in that direction you have the Col de Saisy, Beaufortin, and ultimately the Tarentaise. Up there, where I've come from, is Megève, Chamonix, ultimately Geneva. And then finally, in that direction, where I'm going, is the Curtesy Aravis. The climb is just under 12 kilometres long, average gradient of about 5%, which puts it at a kind of high-end category 2, low-end category 1 climb. But it's deceptively hard because it's got a bit of downhill in the first third, so the majority of the climbing is actually around 7%. It definitely feels more like a category 1 climb. So the Tour last came over in this direction in 2020, which is 2 years ago. A stage run by Richard Carapaz of Ineos. I think it came over in the other direction 2 years before that. So pretty much comes over every 2 or 3 years in one direction or another. Plus, it was in the Criterium du Dauphiné 3 years ago as well. So as I say, very popular, even though it's not the highest or the hardest climb in the area. So after only about 2 kilometres up, you have this little bit of downhill followed by a fairly long section of flat, which, as I say, seriously skews the overall results of the climb. So yeah, top section is much harder than a category 2 climb would suggest. 5 kilometres in, still pretty easy at the moment. So we're about 6 kilometres or halfway into the climb now, and we're in the village of Lagita, which, random bit of trivia for you, is the furthest extent to which your Mont Blanc Unlimited ski pass will get you to. So you can just about ski here from Les Houches if you really wanted to. This is where the climbing proper starts now. It's about 7% upwards from here on in, all the way to the top. So yeah, fairly brutal second half to this climb, owing to the fact that the first half is actually slightly downhill in places. Well, there are lots of hairpins in the second half. It's a fairly consistent gradient, it doesn't ramp up and down too much, so you can just pick a gear and grind it out. And 6 kilometres at 7% isn't all that long, so you can kind of time trial it a bit. Although, chances are, like me, you've ridden here from 20 odd kilometres away, so you're already pretty tired. And of course the tour riders themselves will have done probably over 100 kilometres before they get here. So it's energy sapping. Final few steep hairpins and then I'm up. Just up there. So here I am at the Col des Aravis, or just over it. If I kept going in that direction, I'd be in Le Clusaz, Le Grand Bonand and the Roche Chaufferon, which is ultimately where the stage finished 2 years ago. It's remarkably busy up here for a late evening September. There's some kind of party going on in the restaurant cafe thing over there. Certainly tons of people, tons of cars. Not what I was expecting at all. So it's a pretty satisfying climb, quite tough despite it being only average about 5%, because as I say, most of the climbing is actually 7% or more, and it's packed all into the final 6 kilometres, at which point you're already pretty tired from the long approach anyway. But it's a pleasant climb, good road surface most of the way, it's a wide road, it is pretty busy, it's a major thoroughfare, but you never feel like you're rushed off the road by the cars. Views up here, pleasant. Wide open alpine pastureland most of the way up, and then when you get up here, some pretty impressive crags on either side of the col. And this is the only break in the mountain chain for miles around, so it's a pretty stunning spot. As for the sunglasses, I'm really pleased. The reactive lenses have certainly been put to the test. Started off in the strong afternoon sunshine, and it'll be nearly dark by the time I get down. It's getting pretty gloomy already, but I still don't feel the need to take the glasses off yet. And as in the lower section when you're in the woods, you're constantly going from the bright sunshine into the dark gloom of the trees, and you barely even notice you've got sunglasses on when you're in the trees. And the lenses react quicker than your pupils can adjust, so you never feel like you're getting dazzled as you go in and out of the sun. So perfect really for road riding, and I'm sure it'll be just as good for driving as well. Indeed, I'm also looking forward to putting them to the test in mountain biking too. Now all that is left is for me to get down before it gets properly dark As the nights are drawing in fast now, we're in mid-September, and it's also starting to get pretty chilly now that I'm all drenched in sweat as well. So luckily I brought a gilet today.